Hello, welcome to this taste challenge, mid-morning taste challenge. I have two bourbon whiskeys. This is the world famous Jim Beam, which we're all familiar with. Age 4 years. Doesn't have an age statement on the bottle, so I guess officially it does not have an age statement. But the website and the television commercials said it was age 4 years. And they told me at Jack Daniels on the tour that they don't put an age statement on their bottles because you have to pay a tax, some special tax if you put an age statement. Sounds about right, but so they don't have an official, but they have an unofficial 4 years. All right, here's another 4-year age bourbon. This is a blend of straight bourbons. This is Jeppson's bourbon, a blend of straight bourbons introduced in 2020. So this introduced in 1938. This introduced in 2020. This is 100 proof. The Jim Beam is 80 proof. This is a blend of bourbons from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. It's 75% rye. Slap my face. 75% corn. It'd be rye whiskey if it was a 75% corn, 21% rye, so pretty high rye, and 21% rye and 4% malted barley whiskey, malt whiskey. You know, in Scotland that would be single malt. But this is only 4% malt. Single malt is all barley malt. All right. Now, what grain is the best for making whiskey? Well, that's up to who's drinking it, right? Many Americans would say corn. Archer Daniel Midland would probably say corn. They're both copper, and they're both clear, so the appearance won't matter. The proof should matter, 80 proof versus 100. That should be the difference. In Scotland, they might say malted barley is the best grain. In Kentucky and Indiana, they're going to say rice. Corn. In Louisiana, they're going to say rice. I went ahead of myself. There's rice whiskey. You can get rice whiskey in Louisiana. Yeah, so whiskey can be made from any cereal grain, but the most common is corn, malted barley, and wheat. Guess those rye. Sorry, I'm all out of sorts today. So corn, malted barley, and rye. You know, because they got rye whiskey. Now, can you get a wheat whiskey? You can. There's a type of whiskey called wheat whiskey. I don't mean bourbon. I mean a whiskey that's mostly wheat. And in Louisiana, like I said, the company Mellick, they make a whiskey that's mostly rice. Hadn't tried it, couldn't say. Well, I was out in the yard. I got other steaks on the grill, but I was grilling, so I got two ready to go. You can get a view. Okay, and I'm going to eat one of them soon because I'm hungry. All right, so let's go. Yeah. Sweet corn, same old thing, you know. Not much on the nose, honestly. Yeah. So as far as aromatics, both of these are kind of drab. There's not a whole lot happening. But this is called a taste challenge, not a challenge. So there's Jim Beam. They went back to the white caps. I think they changed labels like this just so it's easy to spot old bottles, you know. They want fresh stuff on the show, especially with beer. You know, beer expires quickly. Whiskey would not. Wine would. But so, you know, they change the labels. They can spot bottles because they want the newest stuff out there, you know, showcasing. There it is right there, 4 years of aging. Charred oak barrels, new charred oak. They didn't mention that, but I guess most people don't sit there and read regulations. Any bourbon has to come from new charred oak barrels, not an option. There's your taste. Heavy on the grain and oak, not too heavy on fruit, char, or sweetness. A little bit of that. Character, oaky vanilla, spicy backdrop. That's a nice looking glass. I wish I had one. Flavor. Now they got it spelled the British Commonwealth way. Let's see what it does in English, US English. Still got the common spelling, flavor, like in Canada or Jamaica. Okay. Or the Isle of Man. 7 generations of the Beam family. Okay. That's their flagship. This is their what you would call their standard bourbon. Or if you're buying a car, their SE standard edition or base model, whatever. All right, whatever whatever you want to call it. Here's Jeppson's. There's a beautiful Glencairn glass. I broke all four of mine. Sorry, John LA, you gave me a great gift and it lasted a year. There's the things I talked about. There's also a 90 proof for people that prefer less heat, like myself. I'm one of those people. There's also the single barrel program, cast strength and barrel finished bourbon. You can get them finished in sherry, cognac, and port barrels. You may have to special order those, though. You can research the website if you're more interested in that. Some of those you got to, special, like I say, special order it. All right. Herbie in India says, what's the time in the United States? Well, in the central United States, where I live in the central part, it's 9:36 a.m. 9:38 a.m. Sorry. All right, taste time. I live in the south central section of the United States, south central, which would be like at least eastern Texas. The western half, once you get to San Antonio, well, now you're in the southwest. And maybe before that. But Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, western Tennessee, Arkansas, that's your south central states. Perhaps eastern Oklahoma. All right. Now, this one doesn't have a whole lot. Oklahoma, originally known as the Indian Territory, was supposed to be reserved for the American Indians forever, but, you said the U.S. government lying? Oh, no, not them. All right. I'm sorry to hear that, Herbie. All right. This one is bland. I'm getting a little green wood and a little cellar mold. Now, I notice with Jim Beam over the years, I get green wood and cellar mold, black mold. I don't know why. You say, why did you get that half-size plastic bottle? I know, normally I would not do that. But since Mathern's had them for $4.99, I bought two. So then I got a full amount for $9.98. Well, I'm not going to pass up Jim Beam for $9.98. But the regular price at Total Wine and More for a full-size bottle is $13.99. Or you can get the rye if you prefer rye whiskey instead of bourbon. It's $13.99. And I thought I got a deal when I paid $15.99. Campfire Music says, by AEGF says, American flag, laughing. I just joined. Okay, thank you for joining. Thanks for watching. All right, let's take a taste of what I think is the Jeppsons. Here's George Jeppson. I wouldn't say that the flavor is that more elaborate or amazing. Now, what is the Jim Beam mash bill? I really don't know. It could be 75, 21, and 4 also. They don't say, so we don't know. If you asked them, I guess they wouldn't tell you. They'd say, well, we don't talk about that. All right. But you could taste, you can not really taste, but you can feel that it's heavier and has more a fuller body because it's 100 proof. But does it have a better flavor? I wouldn't go along with that. I wouldn't say it does. It doesn't have a worse flavor, but it does have a worse price. So why would I buy Jeppson's for $29.99 when I could buy Jim Beam right now? Not the deal I got, but right now for $13.99 at Total Wine and More. Well, answer is simple. I wouldn't pay for the Jeppsons. If I pay more, I want more. You know what I mean? If I pay a whole lot more, I want a whole lot more. Did I pay a whole lot more for Johnny Walker Blue Label? Yeah. Did I get a whole lot more? No, I got a little bit more. Was it better than all the other Scotch whiskeys I have? Yeah, it's better. I'm talking about the blended. I'm going to keep it in its type. But it wasn't worth the $242 and 40. What was it? $242 and I think 42 cents, something like that. It was hardly worth it, but I did it, did it. NC Theo says, don't some people taste peanuts from Jim Beam products? Do you get any peanut taste? I don't believe so. It's 8:10 p.m. there, huh? Confused as fabulous. Well, it's because, the sun doesn't shine on the whole earth at the same time. All right. I know the maps are square, the wall maps, but that's not the shape of the earth. All right, Jeppson's. You get more alcohol, but I wouldn't say you get more flavor. So I call the winner Jim Beam. Am I a great fan of Jim Beam? I wouldn't say so, but I'm not an enemy of it. When this bottle's gone, am I going to be running out to buy more? No. Now, if I see bottles for $4.99, yeah, I'll buy it. I mean, no, I'll get it. Got it, Jeppson's. All right. So, was that a totally fair challenge? No, but I laid that out right at the beginning. 80 proof versus 100 proof. So they're both bourbon, though, but they're actually not the same type of bourbon. One is straight bourbon, and the other one is a blend of straight bourbon. Straight bourbon, no flavoring or coloring is allowed. A blend of straight bourbons. This is bizarre, but you can add flavoring and coloring, and you don't have to tell people that you did it. You say, but that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. I know it doesn't, but it made sense to the U.S. government, and that's their regulation. I mean, I know the regulations. Oh, they are updating them right now, though, so it could change, but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're just adding some new categories and things like that. Okay, so now in a couple of days, I plan to do Jim Beam Black, and I found a bottle of the old 8-year black. It was aged 8 years. They're all gone now. That store finally sold them all. I mean, once the word got out, people bought it. But that was around till around I don't know the exact year, about 2016, something like that. Then they changed it to a non-age state. It's called Jim Beam Black Extra Age. Then that got replaced in 2024, this year, with the Jim Beam Black 7-year age. So it went from 8 to no age up to 7. Will they ever go back to 8? I mean, they might. Now, how long has Jim Beam Black been on the market? A good long while. I think 92 is what I was, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check real fast. I got to go eat this food. Okay. Let's check. 92. Jim Beam Black. Then I got to go turn the other 3 steaks. I got to go turn them over. They're on that grill getting smoked up. Jim Beam Black, alcoholic beverages, namely whiskey, owned by Jim Beam Brands Company. Well, now Beam Suntory, James B. Beam Distilling. First use anywhere, January 1st, 1992. I was right. I remember 92. They first came out in 92. So only 32 years ago. In the world of whiskey, 32 years like last week. So it's a newer product, Jim Beam Black. Yeah, we're not going to take a Paris catacomb tour. All right. But anyway, that should be Saturday morning at dawn. God willing, Jim Beam Black, 8-year. Now, later on in the future, makes sense, right? Later on in the future, I plan to bring in Jim Beam Black Extra Age, the one that was around from like what I said, 2016, not quite sure of the year, up till 2024. I am certain of that. And then even further down the road, way down the road, would be Jim Beam Black 7-year aged. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Now it's off to finish this, eat this steak, and then go cut the grass in the heat. It's hot.